Welcome to Movie Date with Jess and Kate. I'm Kate.
And I'm Jess.
And this month we're going to talk about different horror movies,
And horror adjacent.
horror adjacent Halloween
Halloweeny.
movies,
Some
and
things are scarier than others.
yeah, I think so. Just anything that I think, yeah, a fall and Halloween vibe kind
Yes.
of movies. And then we're going to recap them and talk about them and what we like about them and everything. And
I preface it because today's pick
yeah,
is it's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, the animated one.
yeah,
But when you search for it, it's The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. They kind of
yeah.
come like in a two-pack. And Kate picked this one.
Yeah, this one's just great. I love Mr. Toad too. Like I think that's a great
Oh
short, but
yeah. The ride at Disney is so good.
Ride Disney's hilarious. And that one's scarier than the movie because you end up in hell.
That part is so wild.
It's so
Like
funny. Like a
are you
judge,
drinking and driving?
I think
And then
you go to jail.
and then
I
you
guess
go to
you
jail, and then you go to
I
hell.
don't know if you're drinking and drive. I guess maybe you are. I don't
I
know.
mean, I was drinking when I was on it.
When yeah,
No.
when you're getting
Just
whipped around.
kidding. Oh, and if
Um,
you're watching on video, we do have a special guest as well.
yeah,
Poppy is
there's a
here.
Poppy, the dog.
Yeah.
And yeah, but the Sleepy Hollow one is so it's like we watch it every year. It's a really essential
It's a
viewing for
classic. Oh, wait, we have the vinyl. Go grab
Oh
it.
yeah.
And we can show that. We have a pretty big vinyl collection. We have over 300. And I sing the music from this movie a lot. So we got the
Got
vinyl. The
it.
vinyl music's a little different though.
Is it? It's
I
not Bing
think it
Crosby.
has like, I don't know, other shit on
Check
it.
out this freaking other side, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the art in this movie is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And it has like all the classic like early Disney animators, Milt Call and like it's just all these guys. I don't
Would
know.
you watch this as a kid?
Yeah. I don't know how we watched it. I don't know if we had the VHS or
I feel like it came on
I feel like it
TV.
came on TV. Like
It
it was
scared
probably on
me
ABC at the
so
time.
much as a kid.
Yeah, it's really scary. He like the Headless Horseman is super scary in it. As an adult, it's just so funny and
I think
cute.
it's still a little scary. Well,
It
because
is a
you
little
noticed
scary.
in it, and we'll get into it in the recap, but there's like singing and light throughout and like
Yeah.
silly, like, one-upmanship. And then when it comes to the part with the actual like chase and Headless Horseman, it's pretty silent. And they just like are using the sounds to add like tension, and it's getting like louder and louder until like this big scary chase happens.
Yeah.
And when you see the Headless Horseman and he's holding a pumpkin and
Yeah.
screaming.
I think the part because so much of it, I guess we'll talk about it when we recap it. But that part is really scary.
Oh yeah. Well, let's dive into
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's do it. Let's get these notes
Without
out.
further ado.
So in the thing that it is, if you're watching it on, we watched it on Disney Plus, and it's The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Mr. Toad is first, and there's like an English narrator talking about all different, things, and then
Well, talking about different like English literary figures
yeah,
and
it's
being
like
like there are
Robin Hood and
it was like who would you say would be the greatest literary character or something? And he like goes through all these English literary characters. And then it's like, I would say it was Mr. Toad. And then that's the intro. It's like this live
Austin
action
Powers.
kind of well, the guy's name is Basil. Basil something. Basil Rathbone.
Exposition.
Basil Rathbone.
Okay.
And it's like
After the
this
Austin Powers character?
yeah, I think that
Okay.
was yeah.
Yeah.
And no, it's good. And we and like it goes in like that's a cool thing to like frame it in this like library world where it's like
Yeah, it
we're going into the
opens.
book.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I love it.
And then we come out of that book. If you watch that first one, we fast forward it through it, but then you come back out, and then Bing Crosby is narrating, and he's like, "Well, across the pond, we got some good stuff too."
Yeah. Over in the colonies, we got
Yeah.
a literary.
Bob Onion.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I never noticed before that it's like this like English narrator introducing English literary characters and then into an
Yeah.
American introducing American
It
characters.
felt like just back in the day, because what is this from?
It's from
Is this the,
1949.
that's, I feel like back then TV literally had to explain to you, like, we're pulling a book off the shelf. This is
Right.
like a book,
It's time to
but
use
it's
your
on,
imagination.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's pictures of it.
Yeah. But
Um,
I think it's really cool. Like it's still beautiful.
oh, I love
The
it.
framework of it is
Yeah.
really cool.
So the Sleepy Hollow book is opened, and we zoom in. We see like New York, and then it goes up and further until we get into this like very fall picturesque Sleepy Hollow,
Yeah.
showing you like it's away from the
I love
city.
that
It's
part too.
yeah.
Like, because the book map, in a lot of books, they'll have the map of the world in the beginning, and I love that. Those are always fun to look at, and then that's how this one starts, is by looking at, like, you go into that map.
Oh
Oh, it's
yeah.
so cool.
And then we're in the town of Sleepy Hollow, where our first we see just a shadow, and it's of a like long,
Yeah,
lanky
like a
body.
exaggerated
And
shadow.
then we like go up and we see Ichabod with like his head in a book. You can't really see his face, and he's like walking all
Yeah.
goofy. And I guess like right away, like especially back then, it's like he's not like a man's man. He's not like a jock and a
Yeah.
tough guy who's drinking beer. He's
He's
like
a
he
very
likes
exaggerated, like a nerdy character, I
yeah, he
guess.
likes books and befriends women. There's like
Yeah,
something
yeah.
a little off about him.
A real freak.
That's why it's kind of treated as.
But they really emphasize that he loves women. It's like he's a ladies' man.
Oh yeah,
It's
he's
such,
not gay.
yeah.
Okay?
Don't make me sick.
Don't
This is
make
my
me.
Bing Crosby impression.
He's like Belle if Belle was an ugly man.
Yeah, which I
Yeah.
love.
He even gets a song. So when he like walks into town, we see the Sleepy Hollow boys
Yeah.
and they're like kind of hanging out, being naughty boys. And we see the leader of the
It's
crew,
really proto Gaston
pretty much
and
Gaston.
Boo or whatever.
He's
Like
like
it's
pouring beers.
yeah.
He's getting the horses drunk, the dogs drunk.
Yeah.
You would like that, Poppy.
Yeah, Poppy loves beer.
Yeah, she loves beer.
We'd try to get her to stop.
And there's a really fun shot where Braun's like drinking from the beer barrel that he shared with
Yeah,
everyone,
like
and you
the
can see
the
through
mug
it.
has like a hole, and then yeah, you see like the beer going down and Ichabod walking through in the middle. Yeah, yeah, like
Yeah.
that's great.
So he comes into town. We go into full Belle, everyone's singing about him mode. But
Hmm.
instead that she's not a pretty girl who's just reading books. He's an ugly man with a large nose. He's long and link.
Yeah,
They to talk about it. He's
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's such a freak, but there's something
You're
about him. The
such a
ladies
freak.
love
I
him.
love so much.
I love that cat. And Bing Crosby is narrating and singing. The characters don't actually like speak any lines. It's
Yeah, I
all
kind of love
through.
that.
I
Yeah.
love it too.
It's like it's like it's like a dad telling a story is sort of what the vibe is, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
really fun.
yeah. And we learn he's the new schoolmaster. That's why he's coming to town. And
Yeah.
we learn that he loves to eat.
Yeah.
He's got like a pie in his book.
Yeah, and he's eating it as he goes. And then it's like yeah, then what happens?
Then we see him in the schoolhouse. And he's like walking down the row and he's about to like spank the bottom of one
He's
kid who's
about
being
to
naughty.
they literally say like that he's
Spare the
spare
rocks,
the rocks,
spoil the
spoil the
child.
child, with the exception of the kids whose mothers were good cooks. And then it
Yeah.
like cuts to him like instead of smacking this kid with a reed or whatever, he like pats him on the head and it cuts to him at dinner with like this huge full turkey.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And then he's like continuing to eat the turkey later at his house, and you see his schedule, his like social skit calendar, and it's like all these different like women's events
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff.
He wants to gossip and he wants to eat, which is
Yeah,
very relatable.
love him.
Oh, then he's in town like a music lesson with the ladies.
Hmm.
And they're just like so into him.
Yeah, they love his baritone, his like Bing Crosby really leaves. Yeah. Oh,
And they're
you
like,
got it.
"Ooh." Braun's outside and he's jealous. Kind of all the guys are jealous of him because the ladies are into him. He's like the new interesting guy in town, and he's a bit of a fop. Is that a good
A
word
little
for it?
foppish.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Um, and so he has like a dog with him, and then in the middle of his like what's gonna be Bing's Ichabod's like big like law, he has the dog howl.
Yeah,
The ladies
outside.
faint.
Yeah, they still think it's hot.
They
They're like,
love
wow,
it.
he's a real animal.
And then
And then Ichabod's like,
he sits and eats a giant salad.
yeah, well, he's like, well, I guess that was me. Like, looks around for where the sound came from, doesn't care, walks past the fainted women. Yeah, and eats a
Yeah.
giant Caesar salad with like
Do
an
you think
egg.
he doesn't care about the women at all? He just cares about the food, or he like
No,
likes
he
the
likes both.
attention? Yeah.
I think he likes both, but he was like thrown off by the howling of the dog.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I'll just eat a big salad about it. Yeah.
So he's throwing off things in town.
Yeah.
Then Katrina, a beautiful woman with a little parasol, and she just kind of like floats about and is like
A
ting,
little
ting.
coquette, they say like 50
A little
times.
coquette,
I was
yes.
like, what's a coquette?
It's like a fad right now, or maybe it's old, but if I know about it, it's probably long gone. But coquette is like you're
You're
cute
cute.
and you have little bows and you're little. Whittle it
Yeah, yeah.
is. You like that?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a little coquette.
Hmm.
And she's a hottie. All the guys in town are like, wow, wow, wow,
Yeah, they're like
wow.
carrying her groceries and, trying to impress her.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
not only is she hot, but her dad is the richest guy in town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ichabod is on a date with who
With the
is
woman in the green dress.
yeah, she kind of looks like a little like she has a little dog energy. Like she's like
She's very excited. Yeah, yeah.
she's really cute. They treat her like she's like the worst
I think
thing.
she's sort of a classic like animation tropey kind of a character where it's like there's different like, like Braun Bones is like a classic jockey
Yeah.
character. Ichabod's like this long elongated skinny stick.
And she's like a short size 8 woman who
Yeah,
just
that's
makes
how I was saying.
repulses everyone.
Yeah, if animators hate anything, it's a woman with.
Yeah, she's not hot and her dad isn't rich.
Yeah, yeah, don't
So
make me
let's treat her
sick.
like
She's a
garbage.
fucking clown.
But she seems adorable.
Yeah.
She made him a turkey, which is we know is his favorite. He
Yeah, he's
fantasizes
eating
about it,
full
and a
turkey.
giant cake.
Yeah.
But Katrina walks by and he's like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
He puts this like cooked chicken on his head that he was about to eat, and then he picks up his hat and takes a
Sits on
big
the
bite.
cake.
Sits on the cake, yeah.
So he's all kinds of,
Yeah.
yeah.
If he doesn't want to if he doesn't remember how to eat food properly, he's
Yeah.
the blood is rushing away from his brain.
Yeah. Then he's
Yeah.
back at school. All the kids are acting a mess.
Hmm.
But you don't really see him. It looks like he's behind a book, but then he's actually just like
Yeah, it's like
lounging.
gloves propped up holding up a big book.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
And he's just like daydreaming.
Yeah, fantasizing about Katrina and the farm and the money and the food and everything.
That part made me think like he was more into the money aspect of it than Katrina.
I
It's
think it's
like
just both.
she's
It's
a
like the
babe
whole
and
thing.
that's great, but I think he wants like easy street. Like he wants like money.
Yeah,
The corn was like turning into gold and the little cabbage was cash.
yeah.
Not that I mind. He can be into whatever he wants.
I think it's just all of it. I think the whole thing is really appealing to
Yeah.
him.
We was even like, there's the father to attend with, but he'll be dead
The old goat
soon.
can't take it with him. And then it's like the picture vanishes of him and like all of his jewelry stays, and then Ichabod appears in the chair where he was sitting.
It makes me think like if the dad left and he was with Katrina and then another chick showed up that he liked more, or just something else came, he would take the money and go with her. Like I don't think he's like in
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, I think he likes food and comfort more as much as women. But I think he also likes the admiration of the women that are like, paying
I
attention
mean,
to him.
I like all those things too,
Yeah, who
so
could blame him?
relatable.
He's a really relatable guy.
Um, every dude in town is trying to get with Katrina though, so
Yeah.
he has some competition, including the number one man, Braun. Is it Braun Bones?
Ron Bones.
Is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
Braun Bones?
Bones, yeah.
Mr. Bones? I just didn't know his last name was Bones.
I forget when they say it. They
Sounds
say
like
it when
he's
they
a
introduce him.
TV show.
Yeah.
So Braun shows up. He's like riding in his horse. Katrina's shopping. He's trying to show off, but that by running up to her makes all
He's
of
riding on a
her.
black horse too, by the way.
Oh, yes. And
Mhm.
Ichabod's is white.
He doesn't even have a horse at this point.
Oh, well, then spoiler. He
But I'm
doesn't.
just saying they give you little hints that you could interpret later.
Oh, gotcha,
You know.
gotcha, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay, Miss Artiste.
Yeah. His
Um,
horse is black.
oh, so all of her things fall all over. Ichabod comes over, helps her out. And then there's a bit of like a back and forth with who's helping her with the packages, who
Yeah.
gets stuck with them.
Well, he tries to help her over a puddle. He puts his little coat down.
Yeah.
She's walking over it. He goes by with the horse, grabs her, and then the dust settles, and it's just like Ichabod, but she like throws her little handkerchief. He catches it and he's like, okay. And he starts running
Yeah.
like just over fences and like
Wile E.
straight,
Coyote
a straight
style.
path. So he makes it to her house at the same time as Braun and
Yeah.
Katrina.
She's into him. She likes that he's like a
I
sensitive
think she's
boy.
kind of making Braun jealous.
You think she likes Braun more?
I think she likes the attention from everyone. Like her song is like she
Oh.
thinks romance is fun and like the starts of romance. Like I forget the exact line, but it's something like that. So I think she likes the attention from everybody, but I think I
What
don't
does
know.
Braun like?
What does Braun like?
Yeah.
Drinking beer with his horses and uh
She's a simple
hot
guy.
hot babes. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you.
Exactly like me, yeah.
You could
Oh,
tell. Oh, go ahead.
that was the funny part too, though, when they get to the house and like the dust settles when they all arrive there, and then like out of the dust walks Ichabod holding Katrina's arm, and she's surprised that it's him.
Yeah.
And then Brahm's just in the background and he's like carrying all the groceries and everything. Ichabod welcomes Katrina through a gate and closes it behind him. Brahm trips over it. All of his shit falls everywhere, and Ichabod's like,
Look at this
what a
bitch.
klutz. And then
Yeah.
he like goes to like help him and is jamming one of the boxes into Brahm's face and
Yeah.
like puts a big sack on his head, and it's really
You
funny.
laughed pretty loud when he honked his nose.
Yeah, the second time that he falls, the bag of like flour or sugar explodes all over, and like Ichabod's like, I guess I'll clean this up again. And then he goes to grab the nose that's sticking out of the sugar, and it's like honk. Just funny little gag. Like the gags are really good in
Oh
this one.
yeah, there's one point there below. Katrina's like up in her room, and there Ron's about to like punch Ichabod. He's
Yeah.
got him like pushed up against a tree. He looks up and sees Katrina watching,
Yeah,
so
and
he's like,
he's
"All right,
like,
I'll be a good boy."
yeah.
Then when she goes away, he punches, but he punches a hole through the
Yeah,
tree.
Ichabod slinks
And then once
away.
again, we see like a little hole where he's looking, and Ichabod's like, "Doo, doo, doo, doo,
It's just fun
doo."
framing. Like there's so many fun shots
Yeah,
in the movie. It's really cool. It's
it's
really
so
good.
good. So we know that the war is going on between these two for Katrina. During all that, then the father sends out the annual Halloween party, and Ichabod gets a special one where there's like a little extra note from Katrina at the bottom, like,
Yeah.
please come,
Yeah.
Katrina.
And he's like, oh, I gotta go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, with the narrator, Ben Crosby at one point is like, "What is the strange power you have over
Oh,
women?"
Ichabod.
He calls him
Icky.
Icky,
Yeah.
yeah.
Icky, you old dog.
Oh, Icky, you slide
And Ichabod's
on.
like getting ready in the mirror with like the chalk dust. He's like powdering his face with it.
Yeah,
That's fun.
he goes to the party. He's dancing with Katrina. Braun's in the corner. He's like all cranky about
Yeah,
it.
he can't cut in.
And he sees our sweet little girl from town that everybody's treating like
In the
shit
green
in the green
dress.
dress and gets the idea, oh, I'll like switch up the dancing to where Ichabod will dance with her and then I'll get Katrina.
Hmm.
So that happens, but this girl is a dancing machine.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, yeah. She is all over the floor,
Yeah.
ruining his plan. He doesn't quite get it. Then there's like a trap door that he tries to get him under.
Yeah, it's
That
like the
doesn't
cellar
work.
door that he opens trying to get Ichabod to go in it, but Ichabod like is graceful and nimble and like doesn't fall in.
Almost Mr. Magoo's, yeah, not
Yeah.
forgetting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the woman in the green dress sees Brahm and like makes a beeline for him. And Brahm is like, "Ah!" And then in that commotion, he falls into the cellar and gets like knocked out.
Wait, is his name Brahm?
Brahm?
With an M or an N?
Braun? Brahm with an M.
So he's Brom Bones.
Brahm.
Like a trombone. Okay.
Yeah, trombone. That'll help you remember.
Oh my God. So Braun is kind of like down
Oh,
and out. He's like Braun is, he's lost. Then Icky's doing his thing. There's a big thing of food and he wants to eat it all because he loves food.
yeah.
So Icky's just downing it at this party. He is putting salt and stuff and throws a little over his shoulder. And Braun sees this and is like, oh, he's superstitious. I know how I'm going to get under his skin and get him.
Yeah.
And then that's when we get the banger that
Yeah.
is
The song,
the
Brahms'
headless,
song
yeah.
about the Headless Horseman.
He's out looking for a head to swap.
Yeah, that one's great.
It's so good.
All the songs in it are good.
It's, yeah.
Disney was doing it back then. They
Yeah.
really were. I guess, they're still doing it.
They
But
were and they
they
still
were and they
are.
are.
So he tells the entire story of like the headless horseman legend and like what is it like recapped? Like
Yeah, it's basically like the Headless Horseman series, the scariest thing out in the woods. There's a lot of scary shit out in the woods. He's the worst. And he's gonna chase you down, and every year he comes and he takes a head from somebody in town. But if you're able to cross this bridge, then his power fades and he can't catch you once you cross this bridge.
yeah.
Um, but he's fucking scary as shit and he
In the
wants your
Tim
head.
Burton one, he makes him like you
He's
get
like
a backstory where he was like a soldier during some war.
yeah, I
He's like a
haven't
real
seen that.
freak with pointy teeth.
Yeah, it was like Christopher Walken, and he
Yeah.
like had he had his teeth filed down to points and stuff like that to be like more ferocious. I haven't seen that one in a long
I
time.
remember loving that one.
Yeah,
I
I
was a
mean,
big Tim Burton gal.
Tim Burton really had the juice at that point.
Once he got special effects, that's when
I really
he
wish he
he's
just,
so good with the practical, and
yeah,
when then the special, it all got like the scale is off. It's like it's not pleasing.
it can't capture the same
The
quality.
whimsy or the charm of it is
Yeah,
that it's like these creations.
yeah, yeah.
But early days, I think he's
Oh
a
my God, Tim
genius. I
Burton,
love
like, are
him.
you kidding me? Like
We should definitely do some
Pee
Tim
Wee,
Burton ones.
Frankenweenie,
Oh yeah, Edward
Nightmare Before
Scissorhands.
Christmas.
You
Yeah,
haven't seen Ed Wood. That's
I
another
never
good one.
have. No, no.
Okay, so he explains the horse thing.
Yeah, so yeah, the song is
Oh, and
about
the
that.
whole time Ichabod's like stressed out about
He's
it. It's
stressing
like,
it.
what?
He's putting pepper on an egg, and he's like,
I would definitely be if someone's like telling me something serious. There's definitely times where I'm still like, just eat it.
somebody did the other night. A friend was telling us a sad thing about her dog,
What
and
did I do? Oh,
no,
you did
me,
it.
and but I was eating a foot long hot dog.
Wait, for real, it was maybe bigger than a foot long.
It
It was
was really big.
so
And
big.
I was like halfway through I was like, oh, how's things or whatever. And then they brought up this really sad thing. But I was like halfway through putting like mustard on a hot dog, and I was like, oh no. And I had to I was like, don't take a fucking bite of the hot dog while she's talking about this, because you're an asshole if
But
you
you
do that.
didn't.
I didn't know I waited.
Good job.
Yeah, I'm really a strong, good friend.
Um, so there's a one where he has like an egg and he's putting a ton of pepper on it.
Yeah.
He eats it, he gets a good little cartoon explosion
Yeah,
of
it's a fun like
steam.
climax of the song where
Yeah.
it's like,
Headless man.
yeah, yeah.
Love it.
Love it.
So now he's got to drive home on his horse. That's why, uh,
Yeah, he had like a little farm horse. It was like a little horse that literally as he's going to the party, they show him like pulling off of a plow that he was
yeah,
pulling. So he's like a little skinny joke horse.
yeah, just like him.
Yeah, he's like yeah, it's like a funny horse equivalent of Ichabod Crane.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's going home alone and he's super freaked out, which just reminded me of the last time this happened to me was when we saw It Follows and when we left the theater. I remember kind of like looking around like
Yeah,
it's
that one's
following.
good.
Yeah, there's like seven. The other time it happened, I saw Deep Blue Sea at a movie theater in in Ocean City. So it was on the boardwalk and you walked out and I was like, they're out there and they're gonna get us.
Oh my.
My
I
head
guess
is like a shark's fin. Do you remember that? Oh, Cool J.
yeah, of course the rat. The bird? You ate my bird. I guess I was gonna say like you're not in danger because you're not in the physically in the ocean at that point.
I'm on vacation. I'm gonna be down
I
there
guess
eventually.
well
I
Samuel
guess I could
Jackson
just
was not in the water when he was attacked.
spoiler. That part's really fun.
It is really funny.
But he's going home. He's super like freaked. Like any little sound. And this part was, yeah, it's so silent, but then all these little things are happening. He's
Yeah.
hearing like what he thinks is the clopping of his horse, but then he realizes his horse has stopped and he's still hearing
Yeah,
it, but it just ends up being like some reeds or grass.
Yeah, Reed's like hitting a log. And like they walk past like just different things in the woods that look
An
scary,
owl is
scary
hooting.
tree.
It sounds like the crickets are talking. Then the frogs are straight up saying headless horseman.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like, okay, you guys are
His
actually
imagination is running away with him.
or
Or
the grass is like, whoa.
yeah. It was like little flutes or something, like little spooky, like
Grass
wind
flutes.
blowing.
Yeah.
It's good.
I was trying to write down the name of what all those different grasses are, but I don't really know a ton of different
Just little
grasses.
reeds and little cattails.
Um, so he tries to make a run for it. He hits something, then he realizes the clopping. He sees what it's coming from, and he's like laughing.
Yeah,
And
he
then
starts
the
laughing
laughing makes him
hysterically.
laugh, and then he's
And the
laughing
horse is
maniacally, and
laughing.
then the horse is laughing, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh
They're
God,
like,
we're losing it out here." Then the actual headless horseman laugh go, "Ah
yeah.
ha ha ha."
And they start sweating.
And they're freaking out. So
Yeah.
they go running, and then we get this like huge chase between the two. And that's the moment where it's like the classic headless horseman. You see he's like in the graveyard. He's got the
Yeah.
pumpkin in one hand, his cape's going.
Sword swiping.
It's so scary.
And they do so many good chase gags in this
Oh
scene.
yeah.
While so it's like really funny, but it's still really
It's scary but funny.
The
Yeah.
music is very scary and suspenseful. The headless horseman himself is pretty scary because he's like
Yeah. And
getting
Ichabod's
closer.
like panic racing, but the horseman's almost like just leaping and
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in his element.
Yeah.
So they're kind of doing their whole chase thing.
Yeah.
And then eventually Ichabod gets to the bridge. He sees it. He's like, oh, great, I can cross it. He crosses it.
Well, he tries to cross it, and then the horse spins out like a car
Oh,
on the
that's
mud.
right.
And then it gets further and further away. And then Ichabod realizes he's sitting backwards on the horse, and then he's like, looks back.
There's
And
like a little twist where
his
like the
horse
horseman's
got
on his
confused.
horse, then he's on the other horse.
That one was great where he hits his neck, hits it on his neck, and he like flips around like clotheslined
Oh wait,
and
that's
lands on the
like
back of
right
the head.
next to
Well, yeah,
each
they're right next to each
other.
other, and he looks down into the hole of the cape,
And he's like,
and he like laughs from the hole. I was like, that's really good.
that would be wild.
That would be crazy
if that happened
if you're just
in life.
That was the one thing. Oh, that's what I was talking about earlier, where they leave these little clues that the whole time it's not the headless horseman, it's Brahm. And he's just like gonna scare the shit out of him and make Ichabod leave town. But in that one moment, it's like, well, he looks down into the head hole and it's a hole.
Yeah, what's he seeing?
Just a neck.
Is it just a neck?
I mean, you don't see anything, it's like darkness.
Yeah.
It's just depicted as darkness in the
I always thought it was like nothing.
yeah, like a hollow,
Like
empty,
inside,
like a
there's
ghost.
nothing. Like he's like a ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, a
Yeah.
neck would be nasty.
Yeah.
So then that happens. Then he crosses the bridge and he
Yeah.
seems like he's safe. That horseman's on the one side, he can't get across.
Yeah.
But this part always confused me because he does make it across like he's supposed to, but then the headless horseman has his flaming pumpkin head, chucks it at him.
Yep.
And then Ichabod, then we go to the next day and they're like, Ichabod's no more. He's never been found again. And I was like, well, you followed the rules.
Well,
But the horseman's kind of cheating.
Well, maybe it's Brahm.
Do you think it's still Brahm?
I think it could still be. I think you see how Ichabod's senses are heightened and he's like paranoid and he's kind of hearing things in the
I'm
woods.
confusing it with the Sleepy Hollow one where it's Brahm, and then it is the actual headless horseman.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like there's one time where he is fucking with him. He reveals that it's not him, but then there is the real
In the Tim Burton one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think I just imagined that this happened here, but it didn't. There's no I'm Brahm.
I've never read the book or anything, but we should do that.
Right now?
Yeah.
So he's gone. That's what the legend says. Katrina and Braun get married, but some rumors say that Ichabod might have went to another town and married like
Married
a
a rich
woman,
woman.
and he's eating a big turkey again.
It has a bunch of kids that look just like him.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really funny.
And then that is the end of the tale.
Yeah, it's so good.
It was great.
Yeah, the music's so good. I think it might be, I mean, it's one of my favorite Disney things.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know. Do you have a favorite Disney? What's your favorite Disney stuff?
Oh, I mean, I loved all the princesses growing up.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, I think Ariel was probably my first big, like, obsession one. I loved Jasmine.
Yeah.
I loved Pocahontas. I thought Belle was okay. I
Yeah.
know she's a big favorite for people.
Yeah, I guess she reads books. That's
Yeah.
like the thing. Yeah.
And she's nice.
She's nice.
We rewatched Sleeping Beauty. That one was really pretty. So I like all those.
Yeah, a lot of the like
Oh,
classic
Nightmare Before
design.
Christmas.
Yeah.
is one of my favorite
Yeah,
movies
you love that.
ever.
I when we were driving across the country, like first moving to LA together, I had a bunch of CDs because I insisted on bringing CDs. I don't know why. But I had a bunch and I was like, didn't know what mu like I knew like some of the music that you liked, but I wasn't like and we were like in Texas and we were pretty far, so we had gone through a lot of our music. And we like had Spotify. I like don't know why I still had CDs at this point, but whatever. But I was like,
We still have CDs.
yeah, I love CDs. CDs nuts. And then I
Oh my God.
so I had the book and I was like, oh, well, I have this like burned copy of Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, I don't know if you like that. And you were like, oh yeah, I like it. And I put it in and you started singing every word and like in the voices
Oh
too. You were like,
yeah. Oh, I get like
I was like,
mistakes
oh, she
anytime a
likes
movie.
it.
I'm a Nightmare for a Christmas person.
Yeah,
And I feel
yeah.
like people poo-poo that. They're like, oh, I wouldn't like be caught dead in one of the shirts.
No,
Well,
it's
I
just
would. Go fuck yourselves.
I
Like,
just
who do you
let
think
people
you
like
are?
it. I think people have this idea of like a mall goth hot topic person, but
So
it's like so
what?
what? Yeah.
They're incredible.
Yeah. I
I
lo
love
I
you.
think yeah, if you really love something, then I think that's great.
It's nobody's business. It's a great movie. I'm
It is a
sorry
great
you
movie.
like one of the best movies ever made.
What if they
Um,
made like Titanic pajamas? Would you wear them and you'd like it? Instead of Jack Skellington, it's
Titanic.
Jack, whatever the hell his name is.
Jack Dawson?
Dawson.
Jack Mr. Dawson.
Just PJs with that on it.
I probably have Rose. And I like the bad guy. Billy
Billy
Zane.
Zane.
All right. Well, now that we've gotten totally off topic,
hmm
okay, let's rate how a scary Ichabod is, and then or the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and then how good of a film it
Now
is.
I don't think it's very scary. I think it's fun. It's more just fun. It's like adventure, misadventure kind of like story.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like a 2 on scariness, 10 on how good it is. I think it's just this like early Disney design that just looks awesome. And I'm sure you had like back then, like they don't credit them, but these background artists and the colorists and everything was probably a team of like 50 women like busting this stuff out. They had the like whatever it is, 9 old guys or whatever. It's like this Disney thing of like these main animators who were doing it back then. But they also had a ton of people working, like there were a ton of people who aren't in the credits on this
Yeah.
that worked on it. So, um, but their design is incredible and the colors are incredible. Just it looks so beautiful. It's a great piece of animation and it's still funny. It's still like it is still scary. I would imagine. I mean, I don't know if a kid would find it scary today, but
I found it scary as a kid for sure. As
yeah,
a kid, maybe not these scariest, but I definitely when it came on TV, and especially like I feel like I would get anxious knowing that the headless horseman chase was coming because it
yeah,
was really scary.
yeah,
As an adult now, no, it's not scary.
yeah.
I'm a
No,
grown ass.
I'm a grown woman. It's too much.
I
It's a one on
don't even know what the end of the scale is, so
51.
okay, well
I
then
don't
there you
know.
go.
It's
That's not too
little.
bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah, that's
that.
that. Let us know what you guys like about this movie and who your little favorite little princesses are.
Thank you for coming here. Oh, is it a good date movie?
Uh, it's short, so maybe not just that.
Yeah,
You'd
we
have to
need a
have
little
you'd have to
something
supplement it
extra.
with something.
Maybe watch this and then watch the Sleepy Hollow one.
Yeah. I think it's a good, I guess it depends who you're going on a date with. I don't know. I'm because I'm thinking of too many things. I'm thinking of like if who you're on a date with, if they it's a good like litmus test for if they like animation
Yeah,
or, I think you got to be pretty serious not to like animation. So for me personally, that would be a good test.
yeah.
Feel like you like this on a date? What do you think? Is it a good date movie?
No, it's just like a little cartoon.
Yeah,
You
it's a
probably
little.
wouldn't watch it on a date, but I enjoyed it and I
Yeah.
enjoyed it for our date.
Yeah, me too.
Well, thank you for watching. We'll be back soon with some more Halloween movies for this Halloween season. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, coming up different kinds of movies and we'll have guests and everything. So stick around. Thanks for
Yeah.
being here.
Bye.
Bye.